Hi everyone, my name is Kazuna and welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to share with you guys my journey on how I learned Spanish. To give you a little background, I am currently living in Santiago, Chile, where I run my own fintech company called Wavex. So basically I started studying Spanish in high school, specifically sophomore year of high school. This is because I went to an international school that kind of follows the standard American high school system. And usually in order to graduate high school, you need 2 consecutive years of like a second language. And in my case, I had to choose a language between Spanish and French. Honestly, when I was a sophomore, I really didn't mind what language to take, but I was just looking at the courses and whatnot, and I decided to study Spanish. It was very interesting because I've never spent like so much time and effort to learn another language, but when I started learning it, it was very fun and it was nice, and I was very excited to continue taking Spanish the next year, which would have been my junior year. But when I was choosing the courses for my junior year, I realized that Spanish 2, because usually the courses are like Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and Spanish 3, and Spanish 2 interfered with another course I wanted to take, which was, I think, sociology back then. That's why I was trying to think how I can fit both of them in, because the graduation requirements are 2 consecutive languages. So for me, I had to take Spanish in whatever situation. And then there I realized that since, we have a really long summer break, I could consider taking Spanish over the summer, so that during the summer I can take the entire course of Spanish 2, and then junior year I can actually go on with Spanish 3. And because Spanish was very interesting, I decided to do that. That's why I think this was summer of 2013, I decided to take Spanish over the summer. I actually spent a lot of time and effort doing it because I was very determined to pass the course. And then I passed the course, I went to my school to take tests, and my junior year I took Spanish 3. And in my junior year of high school, I was taking Spanish 3, which was full of students that were pretty competitive. That's why the teacher just decided to see if the class was interested in taking AP course. So instead of Spanish 3, it would be AP Spanish. But then I think my level of Spanish was like good. I wouldn't say it was like outstanding, but I think it was good enough. But then my senior year, I didn't decide to take Spanish, so that kind of just I kind of forgot a lot of the things I've learned. And then when I entered university, I was studying economics and international relations. I decided to take Spanish again because back then I had the dream of working at the UN. And then when I found out that the official UN languages are English, Spanish, and French, I was like, okay, since I've studied Spanish, I think it would be good to take the class again to be able to at least speak another language. And that's where I decided to take Spanish again. Just when I was taking Spanish 3, this was probably my last semester, freshman year, I was trying to decide where to go for study abroad. Because when I had entered my university, I was very determined to go on the study abroad exchange program. Back then when I was deciding where to go, I was pretty determined to go to the UK. Because I don't know, it just looked really cool. And then I was speaking to my Spanish professor about it because we were very close as friends. And then he was like, how about Chile? And I was like, why would I go to Chile? And he was like, I think it would be a great opportunity. You would learn a lot. You would be able to speak more fluent Spanish. And then that idea kind of stuck in my head. And then I started to kind of see the pros and cons, and there was a lot of reasons behind going to Chile. I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I wanted to challenge myself. But then I realized that might be very interesting, especially thinking about the fact that in the future, will I have an opportunity to live or work in Latin America for more than a year? And that's when I really started to consider Chile. Also because it was the only study abroad program in a Spanish-speaking country. Spain wasn't part of the list as well, so I was like, I don't really have an option. But yeah, that's why I decided to come to Chile. When I came to Chile, this was 2017, July specifically, I was very lost. Although I took a year of Spanish in university as well, my last semester, right before study abroad, I decided to not take Spanish because there were other courses I want to take. So that's when, I had this huge gap and came to Chile, where the people don't speak according to the textbooks. They have their own words, they have their own everything, and it was honestly very, very challenging for me. But because I was already here, I just kept telling myself that this would make me stronger. So I really forced myself to go out there, try to speak Spanish with people, try to understand, just try and practice, which actually ended up pretty well. After my first semester here, so this was about end of November, beginning of December, my Spanish level started to get better. And then that's when I also did a short backpack trip in Peru that led to me starting my own organization in Peru. Basically, in February 2018, I started an organization to combat educational inequality through educational programs in rural areas of Trujillo, which is like a northern town in Peru. Our organization is called Educate For, and when I started Educate For, I needed to do everything in Spanish, from writing emails, organizing conferences, making business plans. That's why I really pushed myself. I really do believe that it was a learning by doing process, but that really pushed me to practice Spanish every day, use Spanish every day in both personal and professional terms. And then that kind of led to the end of my exchange program, and by that time, which was about June of 2018, I was comfortable speaking in Spanish, writing emails, essays. I understood everything my professor was saying during class, so I think it was a very good way to really be able to start using Spanish. And then my 4th year of university, I had to go back to Japan so that I would be able to finish my degree. Although I didn't use as much Spanish in Japan, I did have a lot of meetings with people in Peru. That's why I did kind of continue using Spanish. I had to write emails in Spanish and whatnot, and that kind of continued. And then when it was close to graduation, I was also determined to come back to Chile to start a company. So that's what I did, and I'm here. I think for me, learning Spanish was a big adventure. I mean, when I started my exchange program, I was very confused. I really couldn't talk to anyone. I was lost in class. I actually failed some courses, but I think pushing through it and challenging myself every step of the way really helped me learn Spanish and really feel comfortable working in it right now. Because honestly, right now, 90% of my life is in Spanish if I'm not having a meeting with members from Voice of Japan. That's why I am proud of myself, and I do wish to continue learning different languages, because I think learning languages is a way to just open up new doors, to meet new people, to learn new cultures, and I would love to keep learning about different cultures. So when I came to Chile, as I said before, I was very lost. I didn't understand what people were saying. But then I gradually started to be able to identify what people were saying. Not understand, but identify what the words were. And I think that was a big click in my head. And this might happen to other people as well, and this might not. But once I was able to kind of identify what people were saying and kind of write down what people were saying, then I was able to Google that, or look the words up so that I know what they're saying. Because before that, when people were speaking to me, things kind of came in the right ear and left through my left ear. When that happened, it was a game changer. From that, it kind of went to the phase of I was able to identify and understand what people were saying, and then gradually got to the point where I am now, which is I don't really need to think, and I can just think in Spanish and do everything in Spanish without having to translate everything into English. So now I want to share a few tips of what I did, and I hope this helps anyone learning Spanish or any other languages. The first tip I'd like to give you guys is to learn the basic conjugation. And when I say the basic conjugation, I just mean the present tense. Because kind of going back to my thought process of the moment I kind of clicked and was able to identify what people were saying, this happened because I was actively practicing and having conversations with people in Spanish. And when you have conversations with people, especially if you're still learning, it's not important if you speak perfectly or not, because if you wait till you're perfect, you'll never get any practice. What's important is people understanding you. And I think if you're at least able to get the basic conjugation, people will understand you even though you're not speaking perfectly. So just try to learn the basic conjugation of the 20 most used verbs and start from there, because then gradually your body will pick up on conjugations. And once you feel more comfortable, once you understand other people, then you can really put more effort in the conjugation. Tip 2 is to put post-it notes all over your house, and this is actually something I did. I did this because when I came to Chile and when I was studying at university, I was so focused on learning all the things at university. So I was growing my Spanish vocabulary, but all of the things I was learning was very like economic related or political science related. So I had started to forget a lot of the basic terminology. That's why I started to put post-it notes on everything. For example, on my door, I would put puerta. And if it was, for example, well, my door is white, so I would put puerta blanca. Then I would add verbs that are related to that object. So in case of a door, you would open and close the door. So I would put abrir and cerrar. I think this helped a lot, especially because when you're so focused on learning something, I didn't really have more time to learn basic words. That's why when you put it everywhere, it naturally comes into your eye. Which kind of goes into my third tip, is change everything into Spanish. This means, for example, changing your phone language into Spanish, changing your computer language into Spanish, trying to take notes in Spanish, and even if you're watching a series in English or whatever language you are, add Spanish subtitles because it unconsciously comes into your mind. It's not really a study method, but I think it's a way to naturally get these words into your system. Fourth tip is, if you are determined on what you're going to do that day, you can kind of pre-think of some phrases. For example, if you know that you're going to meet new people, you can try to pre-structure your self-introduction. Instead of just saying, "Hi, my name is Kazuna," maybe you can add something about yourself, add something you like, and try to just have that so that you can internalize it, and then you can just keep using it, and then you can go from there. Or for example, if you know that you need to buy certain things at the local feria, you can try to look up all of those words beforehand so that when you go, you can have a more fluid conversation. You can ask where the things are, you can ask for the price, and then you can really kind of internalize those phrases. The last tip is to remember the phrase "como se dice," which is "how do you say?" Whenever I was at house parties, especially when people were a little bit more drunk, people who were more friendly, so I would actually try to get phrases like, "Hey, like, can you teach me some Spanish slangs?" or "How do you say the word drunk in Spanish?" And then people were very excited and like happy, and then they start to teach you a lot of things. Then what I always did was I always had the note application on my iPhone ready, so that when I would ask people, and if I couldn't really write it down or I didn't really understand the spelling, I can ask them so that I can remember it, take notes, and look back at it later. So yeah, that's my very short version of why I speak Spanish and kind of my journey of learning Spanish. I do hope to continue learning languages. My goal of 2021 is to retake French classes and German classes, and hopefully to take the proficiency test next year. But I hope to keep sharing some tips with you, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.